If you think where you live is cold, then you might change your mind when you set your eyes on these animals. Temperatures drop to negative 35 degrees Celsius, freezing everything that's exposed to the open. From frozen, fierce tigers to the freezing time of fighting animals, here are 10 animals found frozen in ice. Number 10, Siberian tiger. Well, this one was a close call. This massive tiger totally loses her cool when ice on a frozen pond cracks as she walks across. The big cat jumps up in surprise as the ice cracks, then scrambles for the safety of dry land as the once frozen walkway breaks up underneath her paws. The scene was filmed in eastern Denmark. The smartphone footage shows the rare Siberian tiger doesn't like water, especially the freezing cold water, any more than its domestic cousins. After hauling herself out of the pond, she turns back to glare at the treacherous ice, which so very nearly pitched her into the depths. Lucky enough to not end up like this. Number 9, Swiss bodies. Did you know that we're animals too? Well, we've talked about animals being found. Let's not call them animals. These humans were found frozen in ice too. A Swiss couple who went missing for 75 years were recovered by a skiing employee who was on duty. He saw shoes protruding from the ground and went closer, only to discover that they were humans. Thanks to a melting glacier, Marcelin and Francine Dumoulin, the wife being a teacher, the husband a shoemaker, had gone for a hike on the Swiss Alps when they met their fate. They left behind 7 children who never gave up on finding their parents. In 2017 is when they were found. Their bodies were very well preserved in the cold, and they were later given the proper burial they deserved. Number 8, woolly rhino. These discoveries are one of a kind. This is living proof that we've only seen 10% of all the types of species that exist with us today. These findings make us realize more weird animals existed long ago, ones that we'll never know about. Today, we have the normal rhinos, but 50,000 years ago, woolly rhinos came around. Here's the proof that they existed thanks to the ice that preserved them perfectly. It's suggested that the rhinos between 20,000 to 50,000 years old. It was discovered in 2020 by the locals on the bank of a river. They had to melt the permafrost that covered it to unveil it. It had most parts intact. A small horn was found next to it. It had worn out a bit, making the researchers conclude that it used the horn to feed itself. It was estimated to be 3 to 4 years old. In 2014, a discovery was also made as a female one was discovered also in Siberia, almost near the same place the first one was found. They named it Sasha. It's around 34,000 years old. These findings have become common due to global warming that's bringing their fossils near to the surface. Number 7, baby woolly mammoth. Freakish things have been discovered frozen in ice. Other discovered creatures lived a very long time ago, but are well preserved by ice. Take a look at this baby mammoth. It was discovered in 2007 by a Siberian deer herder who named her Lyuba. When scientists dated back her age, she was estimated to be 42,000 years old. Wow, this critter's been around for so long. The mammoth was hairy because it was found in cold areas. The baby mammoth had milk tusks that were discovered. Its internal organs were intact, and it looks a bit deflated because of the weight of the ice that was on it. This baby mammoth had clay that looked like it got stuck inside. This concluded that the mammoth was suffocated while drinking water, leading to its demise while still young. You can find her in the National History Museum found in London. The 3-dimensional picture is so well preserved that it looks like it's lying down and can wake up anytime and move. Number 6, frozen fox. Some incidents look normal in our eyes, but if you're an animal lover, especially of the fox, this one might move you to tears. Can you see this guy here almost cried as he wiped off the ice from the fox? He was taking a walk when he found a fox lying helplessly on the ground. When he got near, he discovered that it had already been frozen. He doesn't leave it there and takes it and tries his best to restore the fox to original form, but it's already gone. The love and affection he has towards it can be described as sadness, being worn all over the man's face. Don't beat yourself up too hard, man. It wasn't your fault. It looks like the freeze was untimely. Maybe it was out searching for food when temperatures suddenly dropped. If there would be a way of alerting these animals about the temperature drops, maybe many would be saved from giving in to these harsh conditions. Too bad you just can't escape nature. Number 5. Kitten. This guy here is proof that humanity still exists. Lending a hand to anything living makes the world a beautiful place to be. These 3 kittens got carried away with the "let's play in ice" till they landed in hot soup with their tails frozen in ice. Well, the story had to change, and they merged their voices calling out for help. Luckily, they were heard by a good Samaritan who heard them meowing and came to their aid. Okay, trying to pull the tails out without warming it up first could have injured the kittens because of friction. He struggles to help them, then he remembers he has coffee in his car. He comes and pours the coffee on the ice. It melts perfectly just to set the kittens' tails free. As if that's not enough, the guy took the kittens home with him and gave them a permanent home where nobody would ever throw them out in the cold again. At least none of them succumbed. I bet these siblings will have a lifetime tale to tell their generation when they grow up. I'd be mad if this guy didn't name them Coffee, Java, and Decaf. Number 4. Frozen rabbit. Ever waited for someone for so long that you may start wondering where they are? This buddy was busy when trying to get to his family. He was frozen to its end before arriving at his destination. To me, it seems like he had a poorly timed jump that got him trapped in a wooden fence. He struggled for some time trying to get free, but the cold came and caught up with the rabbit. Some guys came across the trapped rabbit and tried to save it, but it was already gone. The rabbit looked alive even in its state. For the vets in the house, is it true that the rabbit is not rendered fully gone until it's warmed back up? Let us know in the comments about your views on these frozen animals. Number 3. Donkeys in Turkey. Elsa, is this your doing? Have you lost control of your powers again? This was recorded in Turkey when temperatures dropped alarmingly, leading to harsh winter conditions. These donkeys seemed unattended. The owner sought shelter for himself and forgot about his workers. Should they not be treated well too? I don't want to be rude, but the owner is to be blamed. They're living creatures just like us. These donkeys had a rough day, I bet. They stayed together to preserve what little warmth they had left. It was actually a heartwarming sight to see. After the media circulated the footage of the animals in distress, a rescue team was sent, and they arrived just in time to save the poor donkeys. Some could barely walk, so a truck was used to carry them to an animal shelter. They were kept warm and fed while a vet came regularly to check on them. Anna, I think you need to get your sister back in control, or else she might freeze everything. Number 2. Mooses froze in a lake. 2 moose were found preserved in the ice with their horns entangled on each other. They must have ended up in a fight to be like this. Speculation is that one might have been stabbed to death, but the winner was left entangled to the perished one, and it couldn't free itself. As they were found in a frozen lake, it must have dragged itself together with the other one, both ending up frozen. Wait, were they fighting because of a female? I hope she was worth risking it for. Number 1. Coyote and a fox. A fight pulled up between a coyote and a fox when the untimely thing happened. Time seemed to freeze on both of them. Do you have a clue who did this? The coyote had fallen while the fox remained standing. Drops of blood are seen on the white snow near the fox, meaning that there was a cool fight going on. Okay, it's not a good picture witnessing beautiful gifts from nature tearing each other apart, but it is what it is. They were found in that state by the locals, and nothing could have been done as they were already gone. They'll have to continue their fight in the next world. Looking at them, you might think that someone paused a movie at its peak. That said, there's many more animals that have been frozen, it's just their time of being discovered has not yet arrived. See you next time.